back again and again and again with new skills added to the light box repertoire. Okay, today we're going to be talking about two-piece or multi-part light boxes, which I've been asked 438,365,023 times over and over again. How do I make light boxes larger than a build plate on my printer? Well, I'm going to show you how to kind of do that. It's not necessarily going to help you with this kind of logo. Not really going to help you out with something like making this larger than the bed, but I will show you how to make some fancy, cool little doodads that you can go along with this to make it larger than the. You'll see. Okay. I'm going to try to fit this in 20 minutes. So I'm going to go kind of faster than the normal pace, but you should be able to follow along with your own light box. So let's get right into it. I just needed an excuse to use that.
While you're here, please check out my website, which has a ton of multicolor 3D printing models, as well as how-to instructional videos, how to make them. I also take commissions. If you do not want to create your own model, don't have the time to do it, you could contact me and I will make them for you. Please support my work by subscribing, and I have a ton of models on the website for you to check out for free. Just scroll through them, find what you want, download the zip file, and hit print. Thanks.
Okay, I made this little dilly bobber here just a generic little light box that all of you probably know how to make by now. Okay, what we're gonna do, we're gonna turn off this back plate. If you need to figure out what piece you're looking at, the easiest way to do it, click it, and you can see this little dash. Yeah, I'm sharing my screen. Whew. You can see the little dashes, and that'll tell you what piece you're clicking on. Top back plate. Notice this is titled top because we're about to put a bottom on this. I'm gonna hide that. We're gonna flip this dude back around. So this is gonna be my top piece of my multi-part light box. So in order to put a base, so the goal for this tonight is to make a light up base for this light box. So we're gonna have a light box on the top, and then we're gonna have a light up bottom. And I'll show you two examples of what I have already made in the past. This one right here was a super cool one that I made for somebody. And this is actually in two parts. This is see, I have all of the bottom labeled stand. I'm gonna hide all of these actually. And this is what a normal light box will look like. I mean, obviously. And then I have well, you see how there's a bottom pass-through hole, which feeds into, let me turn off the back plates on these actually. Click that, click this one, okay. So now you can kind of see what we're working with here. I have a pass-through on the top, pass-through on the top, bottom, top, passes through down into the base. Both sections of this multi-part light box, both sections will light up with LEDs. So it's another cool little shenanigans you can work with. Here's another example of that I did for someone. Same, kind of the same concept. You have like a base stand and then a top portion of the light box with the pass-through right in the middle. So once you put the back plates on these, all the holes and everything are covered up and not visible. The only hole that will be visible in the light box is the same hole that you use for any normal light box, the one coming with the USB cord out of the side or bottom or wherever you put it. So let's get started on this one. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna need a sketch for the base. I don't think I have drawn, yep. This is just, it is what it is. What you see is already kind of what I threw together. We're gonna click on the front, create new sketch. We're going to hit P for project. I'm gonna project that. You're gonna do this the same way that I've shown you how to make stands more than a few times. Project that hole. I'm gonna click OK. So now that we have this projected, now we have some lines to attach it to. I'm gonna make a little wacky looking base for this. So we're just gonna come down, let's just say 40 millimeters. We're just winging it. I'm gonna draw a line. Let's go 62.5. And then let's see here. I'm gonna do fit point spline. Let's see how weird we can make this. Bam, enter. One thing I do need to check. Yep. You can see right here, there's a gap. And this is that 0.1 millimeter gap for tolerance fitment that I did on that. And also on this one, to hide the seam through the middle, you can see I put a lip right over the front so that there is no hairline crack going on this one. On the Harley Davidson one, same thing. You cannot see the crack in between the base and the top because I put a tiny lip on the front. So back to work. Let's make it a little, let's just make the stand like this. Okay. We're gonna click this little doodad. We're gonna click mirror, mirror line, this one, enter. Now you got all these friggin' things. We're about to get rid of all this. This is what Ajax is gonna yell at me for. All these constraints, we're about to just get rid of all that shenanigans. We're going to draw another, well, we don't have to draw another line. We can just click this one and do the same thing, mirror. We could have mirrored both of these lines at the same time. I'll actually do that for proper work practices. We're going to click this. Okay, I didn't turn my Facebook notifications off. Lovely. Let me exit out of that. Okay, we're going to click line 1, hold shift, click line 2, mirror. Now we need to select the mirror line, which is this middle line that I've drawn. Okay, so now we have the same exact shape on both ends. That way it's symmetrical. So now I'm going to pull a super cool move that Ajax is going to love, and we're just going to delete this middle line. Boom, now we have no more constraints. And as Ajax knows and loves, you can just do whatever the heck you want with this thing, and it'll mess everything up with no constraints. So you have to be careful with stuff like that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do offset, and I'm going to do my 0.1 tolerance. That way I have a little bit of wiggle room, because you're not going to get a perfect fit from bottom piece to top piece. What I'm going to go ahead and do is trim off that little piece on the end. I'm going to trim off that little piece on the end. And now we have this bottom base shape. Now we're going to go offset. I'm going to select this one. We're going to go I'm going to trim off these edges too. That way it's completely separate from the top. Now this is, if you trim off the edge, this is now considering this one full shape all the way around. Now I can go offset, and this will do a full loop. See, it goes all the way around. Because with the full circle all the way around, it's considering this an intersection, and Fusion stops at all intersections. We're going to go inwards minus 2.5, just like we do regular Lightbox. This 2.5, that's going to be the wall. So that's going to be the wall for the base box. And then you can put any design you want inside of here. Text. Just throw some text in here. Some text here. That's going to be our super cool custom. What we're going to do now, we're basically going to make two light boxes is what this is coming down to. We're going to go extrude this one, minus 38. You can do minus 38 if you know the depth, or another cool feature, you can do, click this, hit extrude, flip it around, and you can change the extent type to object. That way, no matter how you change this top box, this bottom box will always match up to the back. So if you come back and say, I really only want this to be 20 millimeters, it'll come down here in the timeline and it will fix the base to only go backwards 20 millimeters if you change that for some reason. So we're going to change this to new component. Okay. We're going to rename this to bottom, we'll name it bottom black. Then I'm going to hit A for appearance. I'm going to drag the black over here. So now you can kind of see it start to come together. We're going to turn on that bottom base sketch again, click on it, extrude, new component. We're going to go -1, same lightbox shenanigans you've always dealt with, new component. We're going to call that bottom watai. We're going to hit A for appearance. We're going to drag the watai color. Now we can go ahead and do the text, extrude it, -2. It's only 1 millimeter thick, but I'm going to do 2 just to make sure it goes all the way through because I'm paranoid sometimes like that. We're going to cut it. Now we're going to do extrude, -1. Come on. I should have clicked new component before that. Okay, new component. This is going to be called bottom text. Lovely. Gonna color that green. Turn off the sketch. Okay, so we essentially have two light boxes now. But what you don't have is a pass-through right here. So what we can do now is use this other pass-through. Go back, find the sketch that you used for the pass-through right here. My sketch 2. There's a few different ways you can do this, but I'm just gonna show you the winging it way right now, just so you can get the concept of making a multi-part box. You can hit extrude, bring it down. This is just how you wing it. I know it's all the way through the box. That's, you know, it's all the way through the box. You can drag it down. That's not the proper way to do it, but this is going to get the job done just as well as any other way. Okay, so now we have a pass through top to bottom. So next thing you need to know, how am I going to connect? How am I going to hold these together? Top box, bottom box. Because right now, top box is only resting. Those itches. Right now, the top box is only resting on top of the base box. So typically what I've done for these, I have a lot of M3 screws at my house because I put together a lot of, most of my stuff that I build, I make them out of M3 bolts. So I usually make the holes big enough for M3 bolts. That's just mine. You can make them whatever you want. But all of my holes are sized for, well, that says length. Anyway, it's a M3 bolt hole. So what we're gonna do now, make some bolt holes. We're gonna go here. We're gonna go plane at angle. Set it a good view. We're gonna go. You gotta. I don't have any lines over here to do multi-edge, but we're gonna wing it on this one. The whole point of this is to show you how to make two light boxes connect together. You can also see the thin 0.1 millimeter gap. That's for tolerances. Okay, let's do, that looks good right there. 10 degrees, lovely. We're gonna click that, create sketch. I'm gonna twist this around. I need to turn off that other sketch. We're gonna go P for project. Project that line. And we know from our previous Lightbox experience, if you do them the same way I do, it's going to be the same size, all of them. So we go up 14 millimeters to the center of this and make an 8 by 16 rectangle. We're going to go line. Actually, I'm going to show you how to measure this. We're going to click this, and then we're going to click the back. And you can come down here on the bottom. Can you see that? It's probably right behind my turtle. It is right behind my turtle. Nice. But there is it says a minimum distance, 6 millimeters. So I know from the beginning of the hole to the back of the plate, I have 6 millimeters. Which also, if you're thinking about this, I have 5 millimeters for the lip of the back plate that's going to push inside of here. So what you don't want to do is put a bolt hole where it's going to interfere with the lip on the back plate. And then number 2, you don't want it to interfere with how you lay down your LEDs. Because if I just put a bolt right here, that LED path, the string, it's going to lay right over the top of that bolt hole. You don't want that because then you're going to lose adhesion for it coming inside of here. So we can either put the bolt holes somewhere in front of this or somewhere behind it, but you're also going to have to cut a hole in that lip, which let's have a look Back here, you can see how I position the holes here. Let's see, I have a 16 millimeter hole right here, but my LEDs are only 10 millimeters. That's why I set this hole right here. It's kind of offset it a little bit because the LEDs are going to pass through right here. My LEDs are 10 millimeters wide, so that's why I can get away with this being a little bit offset right here. Same thing with this. So actually, I can measure this from here. Minimum distance, 8.5 millimeters. So that's going to be 8.5 millimeters from the circle to this back plate. And I have a 3 millimeter hole. So that's going to be 10 millimeters from the back plate. We'll just do that. We'll just do that for consistency. So I'm going to draw a line. Hopefully I'm not losing everybody on this. I'm going to draw a line 10 millimeters deep. Hit enter, and that's where we're going to draw the first bolt hole. 3 millimeter diameter, like I said, for M3 bolts. And then let's see how deep I made the other ones. We're going to click this and then go here. Minimum distance 17 millimeters. So that is 20 millimeter gap because that's the radius, including the radius. So if I made another line from here, 20 millimeters, enter, we're going to hit C for circle, draw another 3 millimeter hole, finish sketch. So now what we can do, take that circle, hit extrude, bring it down through, cut. So now we have 2 bolt holes. So now what we can do, same exact thing on the other side over here. We're going to go construct, oh, wrong button. We're going to click that, plane at angle. So another way of doing this, let me just see how center lined up. Okay, it looks like we're pretty center. Let's do that. Let's do mirror. I wasn't prepared for this one. Let's do, where is my mirror? Shenanigans, create, mirror right here. We're gonna mirror, and the object type, we're gonna go mirror features. The objects, we're gonna click right here. We're gonna mirror these features, and the mirror plane, since we did this dead center, I'm gonna click this mirror plane, boom. And there we go. Now you can see this is the preview. I haven't completed it yet. We're gonna hit OK. The window is under your video. What? The mirror is under your video. I am not sure. Maybe I've gone too far, but this is how you mirror features, just like so. So now I have 4 bolt holes, 4 M3 bolts. Now I've made these 3 millimeters in diameter. I left no room for tolerance. That's because I like to screw the bolts straight into these and not have to use nuts, and it fits tighter. I mean, you can use nuts on the backside, obviously, that's no problem, but I like it to be snug and align up perfectly with no wiggle room. So I like my stuff to be super snug, no wiggle room whatsoever. So after I screwed in these bolts right here, it's going to be nice and tight. And really, you won't even need nuts on the backside because it's going to thread itself into the plastic. That's a personal preference. You can make this a little looser if you want, and then use nuts on the backside. That's all up to you. So what we can do now, I need a hole for the base. I'm going to click on this corner over here. We're going to go plane at angle again. I'm going to look straight at the back. I'm gonna eyeball this with the good, that's good right there. I wanna have this good angle. I don't want it to come straight, because if I did a straight hole, then the hole is gonna be at a diagonal and it's not gonna look as good. We're gonna go okay right there. Twist it around, click it, create sketch. Zoom out, rotate it a little bit. Same thing, we're gonna hit P for project. You can either hit the line or you can just hit the little point down here. Whatever you wanna do, we're gonna hit okay. I'm gonna draw a line, go for line. We're gonna go 14, enter, center rectangle, the same, 8 by 16. Finish sketch. You can see how this is kind of buried into the wall a little bit down here. This is where the edit sketch comes in handy. So we can come back down here, edit sketch, ooh, bring it around, ooh, bring it around. Now what we can do is just grab this line, bring it up a little bit, finish sketch. Now we can click this. You can see how it's buried into the wall right here. We're going to click this, extrude. I'm actually going to pull it inwards. And then on a direction, we're going to go symmetric. That way it cuts both inside and outside. Cut. And now we have a hole. And there we go. If you want to get this perfectly flush, you can do that as well. Just edit the sketch again. Edit sketch. Drag it down a little bit. You have perfect precise measurements. Or if I would have drawn the box off of this line, you could have done it perfectly, but there's a million different ways to do this. So now we have a 2-part light box. See how much time we got going on here. Okay, so this, you're not going to have a light coming through this because there is no light shining through that hole. But if you want to make the lip, like I did on the other one, you're going to have to, I don't remember how I did that off the top of my, yes I do. I moved everything forwards 1 millimeters. So the face of the base on this one is actually 1 millimeters in front of the top. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for here. But this way is going to be flush on the top and bottom. So you're going to be straight all the way from top to, well, like I just said, top to bottom. So now, oh, almost forgot. You still need to make the back plate for the base. So you'll make the back plate just like you do any normal light box. Click on the back, create sketch, project this, offset this, minus 2.5, enter, finish sketch. Now we can just extrude this. Got 2 millimeters, new component, back plate. You know the drill. Same thing. So what I will say, there we go. Now, what you also need to look out for is make sure that your tolerance is also there for your back plate, for both back plates. Because if these are butted up against each other, you're gonna have a hard time. It's not gonna sit perfectly flush. You're gonna need a little tiny bit of tolerance from top to bottom. And that is how you make a multi-part light box. There's a million different ways you can do this. I've tried to make it the short and sweet version. There's other, obviously, proper ways to do some of these things, like the mirroring. I mean, that's an easy, quick way to do the mirroring of the bolt holes. And that's about it. I think that's about all I need to show you on this one. I don't want to make it too long and drawn out. But essentially, long story short, make 2 light boxes, make a hole that goes in between both of them, make some bolt holes to connect them together, and then call it a day. Print that dude. And that's all that's coming to my mind that you really need to know about these. I mean, obviously, the more crazy you get with it, the more problems or issues you're going to have to problem solve yourself. But this is a good basic multi-part light box to get you going. That way you can have a light up stand if you want it. And I think that's where we'll call it today. And everybody, thanks for watching live in the Polymaker Discord. We have these every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. CST Tuesday in the Polymaker Discord. Just Google search Polymaker Discord, you'll find it. And then this is the Brighten the Evening series with me, Pete from Shurdle3D. And I will stop it here, and then we'll go down into the application hangout for any questions or confusions that I may have caused along the way. Everybody on YouTube, thanks for watching, and see you next week. Thanks. So, brief interruption. If you could go to shurdle.com/links and purchase any of your items, such as Bambu Lab printers, filament, LED string lights you might use for the light boxes, Polymaker Filament, my affiliate link here, Vectorizer AI. It is no longer free. You can use this to use my affiliate link. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you very much.